Today I am continuing the question and answer of the chapter pressure, and this is seventh part of this chapter. Question number 45. What is the difference between an empty ship and loaded ship moving on the seawater? I told about the similar question in previous class also. Look at this. Let's say the first one is loaded ship and the second one is empty ship. I mean to say very less amount of load is taken in second one. Then what is seen? The loaded ship emerges a little more, but the empty ship emerges less during their floating. So this is because the weight of the loaded ship is more, and every floating body displaces the liquid equal to its own weight. So it has to emerge more to displace the liquid equal to its own weight. This can be answered this way. According to the principle of flotation, the weight of a floating body is equal to the weight of displaced liquid. Weight of empty ship is less than the loaded ship. So an empty ship emerges less than loaded ship to displace less amount of water equal to its own weight. Therefore, an empty ship emerges less, but the loaded ship emerges more in seawater. Okay, let's have another question. Why an iron nail sink in water but a ship made up of same iron floats on water? To answer this question, actually both the Archimedes principle and law of flotation should be written this way. According to Archimedes principle, of thrust is equal to weight of displaced liquid. We know about this. Weight of an iron nail is greater than the weight of water displaced by it. So weight of nail is greater than of thrust. Hence it sinks in water. But a ship is made in such a way that it has lot of hollow space inside it. We have to be very careful that hollow space is the major region. So it can displace enough water equal to its own weight. According to law of flotation, of thrust is equal to the weight of displaced liquid. So of thrust becomes equal to weight of the ship. Hence the ship floats on water. Let's have another question. Only the objects having density less than water floats. Is the statement true? Why or why not? Give reason. Certainly this statement is not true. Yes, if a substance has less density than water, certainly it floats. But the substance which has more density than water can also be made to float on water. We can take example. Look at this is water. Look at this is a bowl. Let's say it is made up of iron or steel. Yeah, why I'm showing this very slowly? Look at this again. Why I'm showing slowly? Because it displaces huge amount of water. The water present in this region is also displaced by this bowl. That's why it will be able to displace the weight of water equal to its own weight. So we can write this way. This statement is not true. A body having less density than water floats on water. But a body having density more than water can also be made to float on water if it is made hollow inside. Then it becomes able to displace the water equal to its own weight. According to the law of flotation, when a body displaces the liquid equal to its own weight, then it floats on the liquid. So, a body having density more than water can also be made to float on water. Okay, let's have another question. It is easier to swim on the seawater than that of a pond. Why? We can answer this way. Salt is dissolved in seawater but not in pond water. So the density of seawater is greater than the river water. A dense liquid exerts more of thrust than a less dense liquid. Therefore, it is easier to swim in sea than in the pond. This is all about the density of the liquid. If a liquid has greater density, then it exerts more of thrust. So, we experience more of thrust on our body while swimming in the seawater. Okay, let's have another question. Why does a stone sink in water? What is the relation between the density of liquid and of thrust exerted by the liquid? Two questions are combined with each other. We know that stones sink in water. This is common experience. But what is the science behind this? Let's have the answer. Weight of displaced water by the stone is less than the weight of a stone itself. According to Archimedes principle, of thrust is equal to weight of displaced liquid. So, the downward force of the stone, that is the weight, is greater than the upward force, that is the upthrust. Hence, a stone sink in water. Okay, next part of the question is, what is the relation between the density of the liquid and the upthrust? So we can write that upthrust is directly proportional to the density of the liquid. More the density, more the upthrust. Okay, let's have another question. Write the relation between upthrust and volume of displaced liquid. This is very simple. If a body displaces more volume of liquid, then weight of displaced liquid will be more. According to Archimedes' principle, upthrust is equal to weight of displaced liquid. So, upthrust increases with the volume of displaced liquid. Okay, let's have another question. In the given figure, an egg is shown in water. Which one is seawater and which one is river water? We have to identify and we have to give reason also. Certainly second one is seawater because it is dense and upthrust will be more. That's why egg will float on seawater. Density of egg is greater than river water because salt is not dissolved in it. So an egg sink in river water. So the liquid of first beaker is river water, but the density of seawater is greater than the density of egg because salt is dissolved in it. So an egg floats on seawater, hence the liquid of second beaker is seawater. Let's have another question. In what condition a body floats on liquid? There are two major conditions. A body floats on a liquid if its density is less than the liquid, or if it is made hollow inside in such a way that it becomes able to displace the liquid equal to its own weight. These two are the points. That's why we can say its density is less than the liquid, or it is able to displace the liquid equal to its own weight. Okay, now let's have another question. Write any two differences between force and pressure. It will be better to have a table. If we have to write differences, then certainly it will be better to show with the help of table. Force. Force is an agent that changes or tends to change the state of rest or motion of the body. It was taught in the chapter Force and Motion. And what is pressure? Force acting per unit area of a surface is called pressure. At the beginning of this chapter, I told about this, the definition of pressure. And its SI unit is Newton. The force is measured in Newton, but the SI unit of pressure is Pascal. Let's have another question. A ship coming from sea enters the river. Will its hull sink more or less in river water? Give reason. This is all about the density of river water, which is less than the density of seawater. Salt is dissolved in seawater but not in the river water. So, seawater is denser than the river water. A dense liquid exerts more upthrust than less dense liquid. So, the upthrust of seawater is more than the river water. Hence, the hull of ship emerges more in river water. I think we did lot of question answer of this chapter. This question answer covers almost all the part of the chapter pressure. So I want to stop this chapter. Now in next class, I'll talk about periodic table. Okay, thank you.